Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sky International Center series of educational panels. Tonight's topic is cryptocurrency and financial freedom. I'm one of your hosts, Olga Lisovskaya, and we're very excited to have two amazing experts on our panel whom we'll introduce shortly. And now welcome the president and founder of Sky International Center, Natasha Sky.
Thank you so much, everyone. Dear friends, dear panelists, warm welcome. I am so honored that we are on Wednesday night talking about finances, such an important part of our life, isn't it? Olichka, thank you for that warm introduction. I will jump in right away to introductions of our amazing panelists because we're lucky to have amazing connections. And as you know, guys, we are the connectors of this group. And what's our goal of the Sky International Center is to connect global minds, to connect incredible minds, and to inspire each other and help each other. It's not just an educational workshops, it's an opportunity for everybody to enrich our lives. As our panelists like to say, name is Jerremy Newsome. Jerremy, welcome. I would love to introduce you to our group, if it's okay. Jerremy Alexander Newsome is considered one of the leading global minds in the stock market. So not only he serves as the CEO of the company, which calls Real Life Trading, he's also the founder of the nonprofit foundation of Real Life. He actually recognizes the trends and the patterns of the stock market, I'm afraid, before it becomes trendy, or not afraid, but honored from my understanding. And whether in stocks or future or options for the entrepreneurship, Jerremy understands exactly how to bring the financial liberation to the forefront to the people. So he enriches our lives, and he enriched a lot of clients. He recognized a lot of stocks that we all wish we would invest in before. So he has that magnetic, great sense of connection with the stock that is becoming more and more popular. And he became not only, he is a prolific investor with the early investments in companies such as Tesla, Ethereum, Apple, and Square. He also is a philanthropist at heart, which is big kudos and very warm to my heart. Today, he helps people to achieve this financial freedom by creating revenue streams through the different stock markets. And of course, one of them is his favorite subject, cryptocurrency. And his live trading brand now expands to Australia and United Kingdom. So he is an international brand now. Jerremy founded the foundation whose mission to enrich lives and to those people who are enriching others. That's a beautiful statement, and that's why you're here tonight, Jerremy. Warm welcome. I can't even start to go through your biography because you're also part of the G-Force Mastermind group, which I'm impressed. And you're also a best seller on Amazon. And we also have your own podcast, Broke to Walk. So I have no idea where to start to begin to show all of your achievements. And on that note, I would be really honored to say warm thank you, and a warm thank you everybody who is going to listen or who's listening now. And Olichka, dear Olga, please introduce our own members who is also on the financial board of the Sky International Center. Olga, I'm passing to you this beautiful person. Cannot hear you.
Yes, thank you, Natasha. I'm so excited to introduce one of our very own Sky International Center members. And we hope actually that Jerremy will become our member as well, or he already has. Semi Spahillari was born in Albania and grew up on a beautiful island in Greece. At a very young age, he became successful in soccer. So that is so amazing. And I want to hear more about that when we start talking. And he even played professionally overseas and in the United States. After graduating from Harvard University, Mr. Spahillari established a gold brokering business with international ties. After the successful sale of this business, he found his calling in the finance, and that's why we have him here with us to talk about finance and financial planning. He's currently a financial advisor at New York Life Securities, specializing in retirement planning. Semi has been nationally ranked as one of the best up-and-coming professionals in finance with multiple awards. One of his top achievements is being a $1 million roundtable advisor, where he surrounds himself with some of the brightest minds in finance. Mr. Spahillari is proud to be a part of Sky International Center and to be on the board of our center, and he's passionate about learning and getting to know different cultures. Welcome, gentlemen, welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us, talking about some of the most important and hot topics that people around the world are listening and waiting to hear your tips and your hints on what to buy and on the stock market. We also have some of our members here who've joined as an audience member, George, and some people who have hidden their videos. So please welcome to our members, and we are welcoming the questions for our panelists. You can easily write them in comments either on Facebook Live in our group or here on the chat.
And now, Olga, without further ado, the fun part begins. Jerremy, I'm dying to hear what is the cryptocurrency that you would recommend for our members to invest in, since you invested in Tesla, Apple, Square, and go on. Please start telling us the cryptocurrency secrets of yours.
All kind of an introduction you gave me, Natasha. You're like, I just wanted to hug you through the internet, you know, when you were giving me that those beautiful accolades. So thank you. And
I feel your love.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to pour into your tribe and your amazing community of people who want to create a better world for others. That's one thing that draws me to organizations and companies and associations like yours. So thank you for allowing me to have the honor and privilege of being here. Regarding cryptocurrencies, as far as just getting right into it, like which ones to invest in, I truly do think Ethereum, although yes, it is a big leader and it's one of the larger main known ones, I'm going to discuss three. It's always a good idea, in my personal opinion, to have a leader and then also have some smaller pieces so you can start stabilizing it out regarding your investment. But I'm going to give you guys all like a hairy-fairy, like really foo-foo reason why I think Ethereum is going to do good. Other than like the one that answers you might have heard in the past, here's one of my answers. So within the last month, Vitalik Buterin, who is the creator of Ethereum, he was gifted over $4 billion of Shiba coin by the inventors and the creators of Shiba coin. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but what he did is he took that donation or that gift and he donated it to the COVID Relief Fund of India. So this young 20-year-old donated billions, multiple billions of dollars to the Indian COVID Relief Fund. So all of us here know one thing to be true in life. If you give, you will receive. There is no way that type of goodwill, that beautiful karmic event cannot be repaid in full. So my humble opinion, just that fact alone will give such a phenomenal opportunity to see that Ethereum and Vitalik are not here to create wealth for themselves. They are really here to transfer wealth. And Ethereum being the open source, decentralized software protocol that is essentially digital concrete on which so many applications of decentralization in companies and products and organizations that need to be created will be built upon. I think that is honestly a long-term holding that everyone should have. And I personally am invested in it. It is one of my largest holdings to date. And I'm very, very excited for Ethereum on a longer term scale, longer term meaning the next year or two. I do think it's going to have some fluctuations as everything does. But one of the beautiful stock market quotes is buy low, sell high. And right now, Ethereum is approximately 60% off of its previous highs. So that would be a buy low, sell high opportunity. The second one that I like a lot has also been around for a while, but very few people give it as much love as the other ones, and this is Monero. Monero is XMRUSD, that's the ticker symbol. I'm a really big fan of Monero for a lot of reasons, but one in particular it does offer a lot of the anonymity that a lot of people seek in cryptocurrencies. One of the reasons that people initially started buying Bitcoin and other cryptos where they thought that, oh man, if I buy these, the government can't track me and they have no idea what I'm doing. Obviously, that's entirely incorrect and not even close to being accurate. However, Monero does have some doses of that validity, and I am a big fan of that particular blockchain as well. It has had a substantial pullback as well, about 60% from its highs off at 500. Now it's at 250 and some change. As this one accumulates, I personally will be buying some as well. And now looking at Polygon. Polygon is ticker symbol MATIC USD, also known as Matic. So Matic is the coin that's on the Polygon blockchain. This is going to be a really interesting mining application that helps Ethereum and other Ethereum-based protocols move at a faster speed and conduct its blocks more appropriately. Right now, this trades at only $1.45. So, you have Ethereum, which is approximately 2,000 and some change, Monero, which is about 2,500, and you have Matic.
And Polygon.
Yeah, and Polygon, which is about $1.45 right about at this exact second in time. And what's incredible is the movements on these coins are phenomenal. So, for example, Polygon went from 75 cents on May 23rd to $2.30 on May 29th. So that's a 200% gain in the course of less than a week. So being able to time and appropriately study these charts and these protocols and the price action that lie in cryptocurrencies provides so much fun and excitement and volatility if you know the second grade math that is required to successfully achieve financial success. It's not hard. It's just easier to not do it. And so that's one of my answer for those three. One of the ones
and thank you so much, Jeremy. Right away, you get to the points. However, it's my, forgive me, I oversaw some question that I would love to answer. One of the members from Natalie Dumont, she said, hi everyone, I'm one of the few people left on earth not knowing anything about the cryptocurrency and what is it? Is there a way to explain quickly how it came to be? So whoever wants to take this question.
It's a super valid question. And I know George is here and he's an expert in this space as well as Sammy. I'll take my stab, and if the other two gentlemen want to parlay, they're more than welcome to. But essentially, Natalie, I will love to say up front, you are definitely not one of the only few people. I would be easily allowed to say I think less than 50% of the entire population of the world has even heard about what cryptocurrency, like even heard the word cryptocurrencies. There is, if you're in inner circles, it feels like everyone knows about it, but the total market cap of cryptos on the entire planet right now, looking at it, is only $1.5 trillion. That's the whole market cap of the whole crypto space added together. 1.5 trillion. So I mean, the US wrote that check last week. 1.5 trillion. That's nothing. So it's a very small market cap. And essentially that's the size of Apple, realistically. So very small market cap. I don't think you're late to the game, Natalie. But essentially, cryptocurrencies, or as I like to say, really crypto assets, is a way that anyone can transfer money from one person to another extremely quickly without anyone saying they can or cannot do it. As an example, if I wanted to wire $1 million from here to Europe, there's a process involved, right? I have to go to the bank in person, I have to sign certain things, and the bank has to give me permission to not only transfer that amount of money, but they have to sign off on it. Now, if I don't want that transaction to be known, or I don't want it to be seen by outside parties, or I don't want people to know that it's happening, a cryptocurrency could allow that transaction to happen, not anonymously, but simply without the verification or the permission of any other third party. I can instantly transact that currency to any other borderless country in the world simultaneously and instantaneously. And that essentially is what cryptocurrencies were when the very first one, Bitcoin, was created in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto to create really the people's currency. So no government, no outside agency could mingle or mangle with all the inner workings of the currency.
Wonderful. Now, I understand, Jeremy, that some people like you and I are on board. I believe it is the future. So please forgive me if I put the Bitcoin right away in space, because I'm just a believer. But some people are not on board. And probably part of it from the past history, of course, was part of it that some people jumped pretty quickly from selling some wheat or some products that were not as believable on the market. So probably that shook a little bit of the image of cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Can you please talk a little bit about it and how did it became so much stronger during the pandemic? That was a huge jump that was inevitable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's really, really intriguing is there's so many answers to that kind of question, Natasha, and it's so beautifully phrased because essentially any currency or any tangible item in the world has always been used for both good and for bad. So US dollars, people buy drugs with that also.
Of course.
People buy anything bad with anything that they can buy it with. It doesn't matter if it's seashells. So essentially, when people are saying, oh, wait, cryptocurrencies are bad because people are buying.
Oops, cannot hear you.
Jeremy, something happened to your sound.
Yeah, we lost.
You're so passionate that probably something got unplugged.
Probably. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I jump around a lot. So I get so excited about this stuff. I probably made a cord unravel. But I was answering Natasha's question in the sense of a lot of people have been using money to buy drugs forever. So I wouldn't necessarily say that that is a negative stain on cryptocurrencies. What is a big reason why I think cryptocurrencies have exploded during the pandemic, but also have just taken a stronger hold on many people's forefront is because other countries and people inside these countries are beginning to realize what the governments are doing with the money. So check this out. 40% of every US dollar currently in circulation on the globe has been created in the last 13 months. That is insane. And we have no control over that. So inflation is happening right in front of our eyes. And it's a really, really intriguing concept. And of course, I think individuals can outrun it. But what was interesting about cryptocurrencies is it doesn't allow people to randomly make more. Certain cryptocurrencies, when they were built with a finite amount so that it cannot be just randomly made. And then people can usually buy and sell or interact with an exchange however they want, but no central agency has control over that currency, and they cannot either make it more viable or less viable by making more or less of it. If you're in the US, you might not be feeling directly as strongly with that manipulation of currency as countries like Venezuela, Cuba, Russia, and potentially a few others, not to mention North Korea. You can have countries that really manipulate their currency on a super strong level, disallowing their individual units and their individual citizens to have monetary financial freedom, whereas cryptocurrencies can give you that ability. And I think that's, to really answer your question, Natasha, why it's taken such a strong hold during the pandemic, essentially as fast as it did.
Let's bring in Semi into the conversation. Semi, what's your response to all of this? Because you're more in financial planning, the retirement planning, obviously, real currency, the one that we use right now, is at the forefront. But how does cryptocurrency come into the conversation with your clients, talking about everyday's financial planning? How did it affect your industry?
Absolutely. And I want to say one thing. So I'm actually one of the youngest advisors at the firm. And when I first started, there's certain people that saw that as a negative, whereas I saw it as kind of the complete opposite. I'm one of the only advisors that really talks to clients about crypto, what's happening in the crypto space. Whereas, you know, I see a lot of the older financial advisors that have kind of learned one way of doing things and no new tricks in a way. But before I answer your question, I did want to talk, since we're on the crypto topic, about two really cool things that have been developed off of general cryptocurrencies. And one thing is called NFTs. And Natalie, today, you're not learning just the A's, you're learning everything from A, B, C, D, everything. So what NFT is, and I think this kind of got created in the crypto space because people saw, well, if you can make money digital, right? Well, why can't you make everything else digital too? And having this thing called blockchain, which is basically a platform that people can send information / money and have it be encrypted, they're like, you know what, this opens up the doors for a lot of other cool things. So what NFT is it kind of stands for non-fungible token. So basically what that means is, and I had to explain this the other day to my parents, and I love the way I explained it to them, so I kind of carried it with me whenever a client asked me about it. So do you remember, I'll ask Natasha. Natasha, what was the last concert that you went to? Any concert,
goodness.
music, something, music, sports, whatever.
Yes. German orchestra that came to Cambridge and they played outside, and we were
Awesome.
fascinated. So that was a while ago. Absolutely.
Awesome. And other than the images and the memories that you have in your mind, what are some other ways that you're kind of remembering the orchestra? You took pictures, you bought tickets, maybe you saved the tickets, you saved the
Video,
pictures,
of course.
correct?
Videos, friends, pictures, of course.
Correct.
Social media, yes.
Awesome. So what an NFT is, it's basically, it could be a picture, it could be a moment in time, it could be a digital ticket that you bought, it could be something that you turn into what's called an NFT. Basically what that means is, not only did it go online, but it kind of achieved his own code. So basically, if you have a picture that Natasha took when you went to the concert and you put it online and you create an NFT out of it, there is only 1 out of 1 picture with that code that exists online. Now, the way that this is working in NFTs is kind of like art. Like there's been recreations of the Mona Lisa, people try to copy it, but the first ever Mona Lisa that was created is only one, and no one else can have that first one. So that's kind of how NFTs work. So think about it. It's like taking something and putting it online. It's going to stay in the internet forever. It's going to have one owner. It's going to have its own code. Other people will be able to look at it. They'll be able to say, wow, that's really cool. Natasha really got that awesome picture, and it moves. Sometimes it has video attached to it, whatever. And you have the only one ever for the rest of time. So people are basically taking actual assets and things, and they're putting them online to live forever in this digital age for the future. And the other cool thing that I really want to mention, and it's a fairly new concept, there's actually only one company that got approved to allow ETXs in the United States. Is this company called Humble. They're actually what's called a OTC, over-the-counter pink sheet company. So they haven't yet uplisted to NASDAQ. So for example, you can't really buy it on like Robinhood. You can only buy it using certain trading platforms. And basically what an ETX is. So let's say you're, Natalie, you're kind of like me, you're like my parents, you're like, you know what? I don't know enough about crypto to want to invest in any one individual coin. But I do like that everybody's talking about it. And I do believe that it's the future. And I do believe that it's going to go up. I just don't know which one to invest in. So what an ETX is, it's basically a mutual fund, also known as a group of stocks, in this case, a group of different coins or cryptos inside of a fund. So basically what you're able to do is invest in this group of cryptos, of different crypto coins, and basically get the advantage of having them go up, or if one goes down, has a bad month, but the other ones go up, now you're kind of stabilizing the risk. So this is one of the things that I'm proud of, in a way that I'm able to study and I'm able to kind of follow the trends when it comes to crypto. And I'm actually able to present it to clients when it comes to their financial planning for the right client, for the right portfolio. And I think a lot of different advisors, especially the older ones that are used to one way of doing things, are not doing.
So Sammy, from my understanding, you're investing yourself in the Humble stock, not only you recommend to your clients. And this is the question that came from our one of our wonderful members, and also my friend. So I'm honored that my friends joined today, Dennis Kuleza. And here's Dennis asked the question about the cryptocurrencies. He said, can you talk about the exchange that trade crypto and how one can get access to them? So perhaps Jeremy can take turn and answer Dennis's question.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And Sammy can as well. And Sammy, that was a great NFT explanation, man. Well done.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Because yeah, I mean, having that application, that ability is just gonna be such a revolutionary thing. So Dennis, regarding trading cryptocurrencies, again, a very, very wise question. It's not as hard or as scary as it sounds. There are exchanges which can be used to simply buy and or sell cryptocurrencies. The most popular one is probably and notably Coinbase. It's also publicly traded on the stock market under ticker symbol COIN, meaning you can go and buy shares of Coinbase just like any other company. However, you can use Coinbase and also pro.coinbase.com to actively trade cryptocurrencies and buy the ones that you really like on a very fluid level. Now, that broker, that exchange might sound scary and new and, oh man, I've never used this before. It sounds like a scam. However, it is FDIC insured, meaning it has the exact same security clearance and protocols as a bank. So if you own $1 million in cash and it's sitting in the bank, right, and it gets stolen, well, the bank's going to like repay you like up to $250,000. That's it. That's how far the FDIC insurance goes. Well, you have Gemini, Kraken, Coinbase, and a few others that have that exact same insurance, verification or that insurance protocol. So when you're talking about Coinbase, it's really not as scary or as wild west as it might sound.
Sure.
Olga, would you like to take another question? Thank you. Incredible explanation. And we're in between
very active Facebook crowd. First of all, Pamela, whom you know, Pamela.
Emmy, yeah.
Tuning in from Tirana, Albania at 1 a.m. here.
Love it.
Welcome, Pamela.
Hi, Pamela. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ruby Lee is asking, is stablecoin worth investing?
Great question. So a stable coin is essentially a coin that doesn't really move as strongly as most cryptocurrencies. They are coins that were developed to track the US dollar as a base coin. So the stable coin essentially is called Tether, right? Tether is a coin that was created to mock or really be very non-flexible, non-active like the US dollar. So you can, instead of changing out your US dollar into something else, you can just buy Tether, which allows you to transfer that Tether into other cryptocurrencies, other wallets, other exchanges a lot faster than US dollars. US dollars might not go as fluid into some exchanges depending on what country you might live in. So if you do buy a stable coin, there are other coins that don't move at all relative to the actual coin market. They are based on the actual US dollar valuation. So again, my personal answer is if you're very active in cryptocurrencies and you don't want to come out into the US dollar or whatever your base currency pair is, because guys, this is global. Japanese yen, euro, Canadian dollar, Chinese yuan, right? It's all applicable to trade with. So if you don't want to go out of that coin or that currency and go into another one, you absolutely can. I won't go too far into this at all, but just in case people like their mind to be hurt a little bit, you can actually buy any cryptocurrency with another cryptocurrency. And if one cryptocurrency pair goes up relative to the speed to the other one that went up higher, you can actually sell the second base cryptocurrency and that will increase your holdings of the first one. Meaning you can make more Bitcoin by trading another smaller currency pair like Litecoin or Ethereum. And if Bitcoin goes up faster, you can actually increase your holdings of Bitcoin, just like you would increase your holdings of the US dollar if you trade some other asset that went up in price. So long story short, I wouldn't buy stable coins just because they're stable coins. They're going to be very similar and slightly tied to the US dollar or whatever other currency pair they might be linked to. If you do want to be very protected in a crypto crash or bear market, absolutely. Stable coins can be something that you can hedge with, meaning you can buy the stable coins, therefore you no longer lose as quickly as a crypto market might drop.
Thank you so much. Another question from George Svidlov, right? Financial questions, and I think it's for both of you. Gentlemen, you choose and pick.
I think George can ask yourself because we can see George here on this.
Sure. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very interested in the NFT concept, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about it. What exactly does it mean? I mean, how do you register? Let's say I have an online picture. How do I register as an NFT? Do I need to do anything? Is it under my control whether it's an NFT or not? And the second question is, how can it be monetized? Sure. What's really the purpose of all this stuff?
Sure. I'll jump on this one.
Sure.
Really quick. And George, I've been waiting for you to ask.
Believe it or not, it's the first time I'm hearing of NFTs. I know about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, but somehow never heard of NFTs before.
I could not wait for somebody to get into the financials of NFTs, because recently one sold for about 69 million, just one
So
NFT.
can I put my picture online, sell it for several million?
So let me tell you how it works. So basically, you can create an NFT. Anybody can create an NFT. Okay, I can create an NFT. I can post a picture of a Picasso, but it's going to be much different as if Picasso
has a
actually
market
posts a
value,
picture
right?
of his own, right? So kind of how it works. And actually, this company Humble that I talked about before did a soft launch of an NFT marketplace recently, and they put some pictures that they had of like Kim Kardashian, certain other celebrities, and they end up selling for tens of thousands of dollars for each one of them. But so the way it works is you kind of work. One, you can create an NFT yourself. You put it online. You put it through a marketplace online. Think of it like an online auction house. People see your NFT. They say, you know what? George created an amazing.
Is there some central registry of NFTs? Do I have to do something to make a regular online picture an NFT?
Correct. Yeah. So there is, right? So you have to do it through an exchange, and that exchange basically puts think of it like a code to an NFT. And the question that I get asked a lot is, so why would I put a picture online, and why would I pay $60 million for a picture online when I can just copy and paste it and have it? Well, that works the same way as me owning this house. There's other people that can walk by that can take a picture of my house, but the owner of this house is just me. So there's other people that can copy it. There's my neighbor across the street that can absolutely copy and have have the house look exactly the same as mine, but I own this house, and this house will forever ever be on this land. And everybody will always know in the future of humanity, as long as the internet is around, that this house is owned by Semi. People love that. People love having something that they know they're the first person and the only person that owns that, whatever it is, whether it's art, could be a sports player, it could be something like that. So now I see a lot of different sports teams and athletes actually getting into the NFT space because, listen, a sports career is going to end at some point, but the NFTs will be there forever. So future generations, long after the athletes are not here anymore, they're going to remember, look at this NFT of Michael Jordan. Man, he was great back in his day. This NFT will forever, ever live online. So yes, you can create an NFT online. You can register it online. You can actually put it through an exchange and try to sell it online. And if other people like it, they can bid on it. People love the idea of being the owners of something that there's only one of in the world.
Well, I guess it's like a painting of Mona Lisa. You could have a very, very nice copy. You probably cannot even tell the difference between a copy and the real Mona Lisa, but there is only one Mona Lisa, right?
But think of it like this, right? Think of the one real Mona Lisa having, obviously it does. People that look at it close enough will be able to tell the difference between the real one and a copy. That's right. But that's exactly what an NFT is people don't even really need to look too close to see which one the copy is and which one's the original, because they know what code the original one's supposed to have. So they know all those are copies. You have the real one, you have the original one. It's as if the Mona Lisa had like a see-through number in the back that said it's one of one.
Right.
Yeah, and the applications of this, George, are huge on companies that also own intellectual property. For example, ESPN, right, is owned by Disney. I mean, these companies like WWE, I'm sure you guys all know, is publicly traded on the stock market. World Wrestling Entertainment, all of this collection of footage, they can now sell into infinity. They can get additional currencies on their NFT values because they have the ability of, like, you want to own the very, very first copy of the Hulk and Andre the Giant wrestling, like, WrestleMania 2020 or whatever. Sure. You can create those NFTs, and that's going to add value to companies, songwriters, musicians, artists. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful application. And most of these tokens are built on the Ethereum blockchain. So another reason why I think Ethereum is going to be a really, really valuable open source protocol in the future. And
I can see having real exchanges of NFTs.
Oh, absolutely, dude. That's coming. That's right around the corner. And one other really fascinating concept that this is one of my brainchilds. I think that within 5 to 10 years, we're going to be able to invest into individuals. So an individual can NFT themselves, and you'll actually be able to buy shares of Sammy if he wants you to. And as Sammy's value goes up as a human being, your value of your purchase of him will go up, but he'd have to disclose all of his money and his doings. And like if he got whatever injured and his knee got blown out, he's a professional soccer player, his shares will plummet. So it's a really, really fascinating concept. But man, the world, the currency and the fluidity and the liquidity of the markets right now need to be understood. And it takes time and energy, but what doesn't? So this is a phenomenal panel and a wonderful application and ability for us to share this knowledge openly. It's so fun.
And by the way,
I would imagine that you have you own the intellectual property to yourself, right? But then the interesting question is, what if you sold it?
That's correct.
Precisely.
Yeah. Applications.
And by the way, they'll be full shares, not semi shares.
That's right.
So Jeremy, in this case, it's all true that we all have a price, huh? Speaking of, you wrote an incredible book, Money Grows on Trees. Can you tell us a little bit about it and share your good tips?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the book came to be when I was working with a client who was in a lot of debt. He was from the Ivory Coast. And this was a gentleman that, ironically enough, I met. Yeah, he was my Uber driver back from the airport. He was just so kind and genuine. His name is Nicholas. I still have his phone number right now. And I was like, yeah, man, let me help you. Let me pour into your life. Let's go to Panera. It's on me. And let's just talk about markets and money and all that stuff. Anyway, at some point, he said he came to America. And when he got to America, he opened his mailbox and there was checks in the mail. He's like, bro, like everyone gets money for free when they move to America. This is great. And obviously, as you know, there wasn't free nor money. There were predatory loans, cash advance loans, things like that. So yes, he got money, but he was in a lot of debt, had to pay it off, wanted to know if he should invest and if that was the right thing to do before paying off those debts. So we had these conversations, and at one point he just opened his mouth and said, hey man, I would love to do all that. Like, that sounds great, but money doesn't just grow on trees. I can't just go out and go get money. And I said, yeah, absolutely it does. But that was the first time it ever had come out of my mouth openly, because I think in different cultures, you'll hear different sayings that are very tied to money. That's a very, very popular American phrase, money doesn't grow on trees, because it means you can't just walk outside and just get money off of your tree and buy something. The crazy part is, though, you can. Like, that's what we do when we buy a Christmas tree, right? We go out and give money to someone else to bring a tree in our house. So like, how could we not reverse engineer the transaction where we take some type of value and exchange it for something else and create that monetary optimization? Essentially, pine cones grow on trees. People sell pine cones on Etsy all the time, right? Your blackberries, when people go and pick blackberries and put them in a canister and they sell that can for $1 or $5 or $10 at the grocery store, that is something that grows on a bush. So money grows on trees, money grows on bushes. It's a mindset shift. And once you remove the hurdle, once you remove the barrier, most people in the world are not achieving their dreams or even trying to go after their dreams because they think that money is what's holding them back. An example, someone could go, oh, no. I could never have that car. It costs too much money. Or I should never have this house. It costs too much money. I can't afford this. I can't take my family on this once in a lifetime vacation because if I do, all my money will be gone. Well, when you start thinking about the money in a limited term, it starts to limit you. And the reason I wrote the book was just to have a little bit of a mindset shift, and not only myself, but anyone else who might read it, because money is not the thing that's holding you back. It's your belief about how valuable you are and how you can obtain more value. And if you obtain more value, you will naturally obtain more money. It's just a financial engineering transaction that happens universally all the time. So abundance is always there and was always there. We create limitations to not going after and receiving that abundance.
Phenomenal. And speaking of mindset, how do you, Jeremy or Semi, I think whoever wants to take the turn, do break the perception of people and train on the right way of mindset? For example, for us, for the Sky International Center, the statement was absolutely sky has no limits. Whereas the expression comes, the sky is the limit. We're such a tiny,
Cool.
tiny little planet, right, in the multiverse,
So cool.
and we don't have even universe. So how do you give our members an incredible tip how do you break the mindset on cryptocurrency investment?
Absolutely. I mean, one for me is I want to challenge a very long held belief on two applications, two very, very common sayings. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. It's a very cool thing. Very popular, very safe. I love it. Like my mom, dad, parents used to say that all the time. But let me give you another one on the other side. Concentrate to get rich, diversify to stay wealthy. Now, when you're talking about the two polar opposites, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Well, what if the basket can't break? All right. What if it's an unbreakable basket? Could you then put all of your eggs in it? Like if you dropped it from 100 feet, not one single egg breaks. Okay, then I don't care. I can put all the eggs in here. Or what if you have a lot more chickens and you take all the eggs that are currently there and you put them in your basket? Be like, these chickens can make eggs all day. So whatever amount of eggs I can carry in this basket, if I do drop it and it does break, I got so many more eggs, it's all good. It's just a small mindset change, because I think when you're talking about diversification is very, very popular. And it's a cool word, like diversify your portfolio, but over diversification can also lead to not becoming financially free. It can lead to not becoming knowledgeable. Most people are afraid of taking the time to sit down with Sammy or sit down with myself or sit down with someone and just learn, because they're afraid of the unknown. Most human beings, including myself, are just terrified of things that they don't know. So if I don't know, I'm just not going to even try. And when I talk about investing, I get global audiences all over the world where I'll go in front of people and I'll show them these charts and these images, and you could have bought here and sold here, and this is how easy it was. And everyone says the same thing. But when they leave one of my presentations all the time, they go, Jerremy, if it's so easy, how come everyone doesn't do it? My answer is, brother, it's easier not to. Right? Yeah. Just like working out. Working out essentially is not that hard, but it's a lot easier not to work out at all. So for me, that diversification and application comes from knowledge. Learn a lot, study a lot, because the more you study, the less you have to diversify, the more you can concentrate, and the quicker you can become rich and or wealthy. Sammy, I'd love to hear what you say.
Sure. And I love the way you said it. In those same words, most of the same words, is how I try to educate my clients. One of the reasons why I became a financial advisor was actually seeing it, one, for my own family. I'm an only child, 2 parents, and I saw it in my own family that they did not grow up with the financial knowledge and the financial education that some people get here, but also the financial resources. So one of the main reasons why I even became a financial advisor is because I saw that there was a big need for financial education, especially in the international community, but also here. Recently, Jeremy, I don't know if you know, but there's certain high schools that are going to actively be teaching taxes and getting out of debt in these classes. So I think the concept of being able to teach even younger kids the ideas of taxes, the ideas of getting out of debt, the ideas of not getting into debt, I think little by little, this is going to create a more financially educated community in general. But I think one of the main things that I see in people is this concept, especially internationals. Natasha, I think you've probably seen and heard this from both in your country and also in people that you've talked with, that there's this idea of, you know what, because it's easier not to invest and it's easier not to do it, I think the best place for my money is underneath the mattress. And that's kind of been a sticking point ever since I started working with the international market, of trying to educate them of the different ideas, of the different buckets of money, of the different ways that money and assets get taxed, so they know what their options are. So Jerremy, I absolutely love the way you said it.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you bringing that up, Natasha. Olga, what questions do you have for us? We're jamming. We're feeling good.
It's blowing up, guys. There's so many questions.
That's fantastic.
I don't even know if we're going to get to all of them. So Pamela, because it's so late there, let's answer her question. Nice. First of all, she says she's loving all of these discussions and she's very excited. And so she says, are there any crypto companies infused with real estate coming soon or here already? As we know, Pamela is a real estate developer. So of course, real estate and cryptocurrency is one of the more interesting subjects for her. So please take it away. Who wants to tackle it?
I'm sure Sammy has some answers on this as well, but one really interesting company, there's probably two, and Pamela, you've heard of both of them. And I do think both of them are, in my opinion, good longer term purchases. The first one's a little bit easier, is Redfin, RDFN. Redfin does have a lot of inner workings with blockchain technology. They are also a robotic agency where they buy and sell properties in seconds for a lot less than normal agencies might charge. So if someone is a real estate agent or owns an agency or whatever, it's great to own part of your competition. So Redfin is doing a lot of work with cryptocurrencies and with blockchain. They're not going to be, I don't think, able to scale all of it immediately within weeks, but over the course of years, absolutely. I mean, they're only a $5 billion market cap company right now. So tons and tons of growth to happen from here. And then another one, of course, is EXP World Holdings, EXPI. This is a stock that has had a split back in February. It's also down from $90 a share to about $35 a share right now. It was actually down from $90 to $23. It's a lot of real estate agencies that are, again, working on a kind of a multi-level marketing system for their agents that's also tied into the blockchain. So they have the ability to buy and sell tokens and credits within their agency for agent sales, which is really, really intriguing stuff. So for example, if I want to donate some of my credits to an agency to like build them up, but it's not a immediate cash reward, but it's like a future incentive, they are working on some applications like that, which I think are really intriguing and pretty interesting. So those are two companies that I know about off the top of my head. Sammy, do you have any?
No, I think those are the two that I actually heard about also.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, absolutely. And I love the idea of how Redfin has been presented. I mean, I've seen different commercials. I've seen different, whenever you go on different stock exchanges. And I don't know if do you ever use stock tweets, Jeremy?
I'm on stock tweets, heavy man.
Okay,
yes, definitely.
perfect. Okay, because we'll have to connect because I'm also on there. So I've actually, that was the first place I heard about Redfin doing this. So those are the two main ones. I can't think of any other ones either.
Right on. There we go, Pam, my girl.
Nice.
And by the way, Jeremy, this is your chance to switch Pamela's mindset and mine, because we're both real estate investors and we spoke about it. Wouldn't we want, Pamela, you and I invest in Amazon right before the stock, or Apple or Ethereum, right? That Jeremy is a big fan of. So this is, Pamela, my challenge to you and to anybody who's listening, our friends. Let's listen up really carefully here. We have a great opportunity to invest, and Sammy and Jeremy are both private mentors. So if any of us want to reach out directly, I hope I can extend the invitation, Sammy and Jeremy, for our members to contact you directly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful.
I can definitely change mindsets on real estate. Now, full disclosure, definitely be in real estate. Real estate's a great idea. Like, why would you not do that? It's awesome. Phenomenal for taxes, incredible for depreciation, great for cash flow. You must be in real estate without question, always. Number two, I am 95% liquid. So I only own 3 real estate properties right now, total. That's it. And I have some investments in some cash flowing real estate assets. But I personally am not massively intrigued into real estate for this reason. Number one, liquidity. The speed at which I can make 10% would astound you. I can make 10% on a return, a cash return of any size portfolio in seconds. Wow. So minutes, hours, or days. Like, you can't do that in any real estate transaction realistically. Maybe 1 or 2, but you have to get very lucky. It might be a land deal. But okay, forget liquidity. Tenants, none of them. Termites, don't have to worry about it. Toilets, who cares? Changing, what's it called? Like when you move something from a commercial to a residential, you don't have to worry about that at all, right? Building codes, don't have to worry about it. So no customers, no agencies, no fees. Like, it's just you and you. You have full control, and you have the exact same safety nets that you have in real estate. Real estate, how do you protect yourself? Insurance. Well, guess what? You can insure stocks. Most people don't know that, but you can buy stock insurance, which literally goes up if your asset goes down. So you can not only insure your positions, but you can also rent out your stock, just like you can rent out a house. So you have all the ability of stocks that you have in real estate, minus all the headache and faster speeds across all boards. So stocks win. The most wealthy people in the entire planet got there from the stock market, right? Jeff Bezos, Amazon; Elon Musk, Tesla; Bill Gates, Walmart. Not Bill Gates, Microsoft; Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. All publicly traded shares, all companies, all in the stock market. Obviously, real estate is a phenomenal way to create income and to create passive income, but stocks, it's very, very hard to beat. The reason, Natasha and Pam, the reason that most people are involved in real estate, it's been around forever, right?
Right.
Since humans have been around, we've lived somewhere. So we've either bought it, rented, or rehabbed it. So this U.S. stock market's been around 120 years-ish. So your dad's dad, if he didn't know, you don't know, right? If your mom's mom doesn't know, you don't know. So you only have 3 generations of people who are going to know. And if they didn't teach you, you have no clue. So that's why Sammy and I and anyone else who is involved in stocks, we are doing our absolute best to educate the world, enrich lives, and teach people how this stuff works, because it is an education vacuum that's currently happening in the world right now, not a liquidity issue. People have tons of money to invest. They just don't know how.
There's another reason why what I've heard from especially international clients, they like real estate, Jeremy,
Tell me.
is because they can actually touch it.
Yeah.
They can go to a house that they bought and they can feel it. And they're like, you know what? It's here. I can feel it, I can touch it. It's there.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Exactly. And obviously you don't know what you don't know. And if you just see numbers of stocks going up and down, you get scared. Real estate, you look at your house, you look at the walls, you're like, man, this is here. It feels pretty sturdy. So I think that's kind of just a little bit of a mindset. And I've actually seen somewhat of a mindset shift whenever I do sit down with clients, and especially if they've been clients for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The more that they're a client, the more they begin to trust me, and so the more they're open to new ideas, new strategies, and new concepts. So it just seems like little by little, we're doing God's work in a way. We're educating people on different assets, different asset classes, investments, how real estate is correct for some portfolios, might not be for other people. So one of the things that I want people to take away from today is that every single person is in a different spot than someone else. So just because your neighbor is doing something, just because your neighbor bought this stock or this piece of real estate, does not mean that it's correct for you. This is why there's people like me and Jeremy, because we're able to actually sit down with people, take a look at income, their assets, their goals, which is one of the main things that other people or people on the radio or whatever they see on Wall Street, whatever it is, they don't go through their own goals. They just see something, it sounds like a good idea. They're like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't do it. My neighbor did it. It was correct. It wasn't correct. Somebody that will actually take the time to sit down with you and go over your goals, that's a person you should trust, because that's the person that knows where you want to go, and he's got the best way to get you there.
Or she.
Or she. Or she.
Yep,
That is
absolutely.
correct. That's absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Paula says she's convinced and she's proposing to start a real estate / crypto company together.
Bam.
By the way,
Yay.
tell me to remember the great conversations that we've had about real estate investment trusts. That we went up and down figuring out different strategies for that. So
Yeah.
I can't wait till she's back. But by the way, guys, Marina has a raised hand for a while. I'm not sure if she wants to type it in or just ask it.
I did ask her, Marina, do you have any questions? Do you want to type it in? Or do you want to?
No, I don't want to type it in because I'm outside and typing in a phone would take it forever. But there are a couple of things that I want to mention. First of all, when you put your stock or your crypto on loan to somebody, you don't have a liquidity because it's on loan until certain date. During that time, you cannot cash out. Number two, there is a lot of real estate companies on a blockchain. Most of them, what they do is they act as a fund. So anybody can invest as little as $100 in whatever properties are available. And everything else is described. If you want a list of them, I'd be glad to provide a list. But if you just Google real estate crypto, and there's many different flavors. Like there is a flavor that loans you the money. There is a flavor of real estate company that only does deeds on a blockchain. There is many different flavors. But I think majority of them aiming for the commercial real estate crush, since most people probably won't go to the office. And when it happens, the people who own the office buildings wouldn't be able to sell it for any money. And so the blockchain companies real estate companies on a blockchain can buy them for pennies on a dollar. And then it makes a lot more sense to do it.
Okay, so what is your question, Marina?
Oh, that's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Marina's just
Thanks
teaching
for that.
stuff.
Nice.
That's it.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dennis says, does Coinbase allow staking? Coinbase does allow staking. Yes. It also, Kraken allows staking. Poloniex, buy a few. For those of you like, what the heck is staking? Staking essentially is the easiest way to explain it right now for this audience. It's like getting dividends on your cryptocurrencies.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yep.
questions for both, for Semi and for Jerremy, whoever wants to take first. What is the crypto that you invested that was the most successful and the least successful in your life?
I'll take that. So I actually, so far, I've made investments in Shiba, and that's about it. And Jeremy, I actually want to ask you and kind of get also your advice in a way. I know you spoke a little bit about Ethereum in the beginning. What are some other kind of up and coming coins that less people know about? They're not as talked about as these, not as well known as these. I'd love to hear a little bit more about like what are some like newer coins that are coming out that you've heard about or that's being talked about that you think have a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think 1inch is very interesting. 1inch is on Coinbase. It's ticker symbol the number 1 INCH. There's also another very, very interesting one called Maker. So I just started studying Maker a little bit more in depth, but Maker essentially allows people to loan against their Ethereum and then pay themselves back in the future or in the present if they need to. So it's really a DeFi, so a decentralized finance application. I really like Uniswap, although Uniswap isn't brand new. That one is pretty much investing into another exchange, essentially. It's not that old. It's been around since September 2020, at least on Coinbase. But Uniswap, I'm a big fan of. 1inch, Maker. ADA, which is the Cardano, the coin on the Cardano blockchain, I think it could be a cool play. It's one that I think is valuable enough to put some money in towards. As far as a brand new coin, Sushi Swap is kind of interesting. Although I have one of my rules in my old crypto plans to never buy any crypto coin that has the food name in it. So I've had some people try to convince me otherwise, and I've so far stayed away from that. But yeah, man, I mean, really, there's gonna be so many new coins, and I will be absolutely transparent. 95% of them are garbage. So you will want to do a little bit of research, and you want to make sure when you begin to study some of these coins that anyone at a basic 3rd grade level can understand what they do. And if you can understand the tokenization and the utilization of it, what it is for, why it's here, what it's actually being used for, and what applications are going to be built on it, and the fluidity of those applications, that is going to be some good coins to invest in. There's literally hundreds of thousands out there. But yeah, man, 1inch right now trades for $3.58. So it's pretty inexpensive. ADA is $1.48 right now. Makers is definitely more, but Sushi, which is on Coinbase, is like $8.48. I think there's some cool applications on that, but I haven't bought any of that yet. Sure. So we'll see if I buy some. It'll be a very small.
Yeah, the only play that I made this year was Dogecoin at like 11 cents, sold at 48, and that is it when it comes to that.
Awesome. I love it.
That's about it.
I love it, man. That's very, very cool. And so, Natasha, to answer your question, your question was specifically which one was the best, which one was the worst. So I've made thousands of % return on both Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. The biggest dismantling, horrific, just failure I've had in crypto was actually a cryptocurrency hedge fund that I created that we had 3 partners that were a part of, and all 3 of us just exploded and nothing worked and it wasn't good at all, and it just totally was the wrong timing with everything and every person and every being that was involved in that partnership. So it wasn't an individual coin, but it was something that I was really excited and passionate about that just totally collapsed, and that was one of my more beautiful failures that I've had in my current life. I've had many, but that was definitely one of them. So it hasn't been a coin specifically. Dennis is asking about Tron. So Tron is a coin that's been around for a while that I do not like at all. Yeah. That one I would stay away from personally. I've never invested in Tron, and I would still clear it, mostly because they can create as much as they want. And same with Internet of Things. That's another coin that sounds too easy, right? The Internet of Things, like ticker is IOTA. It was invented and created to essentially be able to transfer, data from one Internet of Thing to another. So like if you want to, re-up your food storage in your refrigerator, but you don't want to go to the store, right? You could transfer Internet of Things and it would blah, 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 download. Cool concept, never got off the ground, wouldn't work. So I'm out of, I have no positions at all in Internet of Things. Tron, I would avoid. BAT, BAT, Basic Attention Token, George. I actually do like this one. I do have very small holdings in Basic Attention Token. BAT is pretty much a decentralized browser. So think about it like it battles Safari and Google Chrome. It's a browser that you get to pay or gets paid back to you for literally watching ads and rating them, or paying into it to not watch any ads ever. So it's kind of like an ad blocker. They have a lot of really cool internet applications that they're using, and I do know a lot of friends that use it. I do think it's interesting. Will it revolutionize the world? Probably not. But can you make some money with it? Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic. And to wrap it up, I want to ask your permission if you have 10 more minutes, Sammy and Jeremy, because the conversation is so rich and so invigorating. Would that be okay?
Yeah,
Jeremy, I know
absolutely.
you have family, and Sammy, it's okay? Everybody is on board?
Yes,
Stand for 10 minutes? Perfect. I have a funky question. Jeremy or Sammy, do you know the company that calls Digitary?
Digitary?
Digitary, correct.
Nope.
So it's basically a group of people, which is the richest people in the world, pretty much people who invested their money in digital companies. It doesn't necessarily mean only crypto or only coins, but if you Google Digitary, there's everybody. And the Warren Buffett is the only one who doesn't invest as much in crypto, but pretty much every other part of this company. So, okay, then let's skip to the next question. Olichka, do you have questions from our members?
Yes. So it seems like this conversation is so exciting to everybody that we're not going to get to all the questions tonight. So we'll have to have Jeremy and Sammy back again.
Yes.
So Sam Grulon, who's been watching on Facebook for a long time, and he's been asking this question. It's a little bit involved question. So I own the following mining and exchange companies: Mara, Riot, SOS, CLSK, Coin, ETH, GBTC. Can you explain the averages and disadvantages of these companies? And of course, if you can't address every single one of them, that's fine. Sam, you will have to watch us again or come and take a mentorship package from Jeremy and Sammy.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with all those companies. Coin is the one I'm base. Yes, long term that should do just fine. Mara and some of the other miners. Here's my personal opinion on most of the coin or most of the positions you mentioned. You have Grayscale, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, which are pretty much ETFs that you can buy inside of your IRA that allow you to kind of take possession a little bit of the volatility of cryptocurrencies without actually using a crypto coin. So it's like an ETF, but not fully. Those are fine. I like those. I like those a lot. Regarding some of the actual mining companies, just make sure that you have risk mitigation in place, because mining will go away. It's going to move into an entirely different mining application. So right now, miners, the only mining that will really be useful, which will be about 10% of all mining, will be anything Bitcoin and Bitcoin blockchain related, which will be a very smaller amount. As mining shifts from proof of work to proof of stake and really starts changing, it'll be more of Ethereum based models. And so mining companies could get hit pretty hard. So just keep that in mind. I don't personally own any of those long-term myself. If I did, I would be ensuring and using ensuring downside protection, like selling covered calls, buying protective puts, creating collar strategies, and just making sure my downside risk is protected on those individual mining companies.
Fantastic. Olga, more questions since you have the live chat?
So I think we should probably be wrapping up, because Sammy and Jeremy, I'm sure there's going to be many more questions, and we can stay here.
This was so fun, though. Thank
Lots
you.
of fun.
I appreciate it.
I want
Guys,
to
if I may say something, it was a fascinating discussion. I think we should continue this, and I would love to actually join and talk a little bit more myself, and share some of the thoughts that I have about this, but maybe in the future. So I would love.
That's fine.
Absolutely. Please, sure. Yes.
That'd be fun.
I have a slightly different view of this, because unlike you guys, I'm not I don't work with individual investors. Sure. I work more with institutions doing trading with each other. But so maybe I'm not even as useful to some people as you guys are. But it's slightly different perspective when you look at things from that.
So fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I
Olga,
want
Natasha, you're amazing.
everybody, and also I want to invite everybody to our Gatsby Gala, Mystery Gala on July 31st. Jerremy, if you are in the Boston area, please join us. It's going to be lots of fun. And Sky International Center always does a lot of wonderful events and educational panels and seminars. We'll be happy if you guys who have been watching us on Facebook Live and on Zoom, if you join us, if you're not a member, because we have a lot more wonderful things in store. Natasha, if you want to say the closing words, go ahead.
I love you guys. I love this whole group, amazing people and great minds, think alike and drink alike. So next time, Jerremy, the drinks are on us when you come and eat. Welcome to Sky My House. Because dear Sky members, Jerremy lives in Tennessee, but he's right now in Idaho. And our group is, of course, the goal is to grow internationally. And Semi, you're amazing. And we are grateful for your knowledge, for you, George, for every member to join. Jerremy, I am sure that a lot of members would love to become your students. I'm one of them. I'm breaking my perception in real estate. I'm big on investing in real estate. However, I listened with the open heart. Olga, love you to death. So let's communicate, be in touch, guys, and enrich lives of others. Love
I
you.
like the
Appreciate it.
three C's
you,
of
guys.
real estate. I'll remember that. Termites, toilets, and what's the third one? Tenants.
Love you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'll
guys.
remember that.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye.